What is up, YouTube? That's here, bringing you another game from my Nugget Bridge live tournament featuring Mega Metagross. We're going to be using Sableye, Mega Metagross, Mamoswine, and Terrakion today versus Philosio, who's using Kangaskhan, Landorus, Gengar, and Talonflame. This is actually a pretty long game, so we're just going to start things up and get right into it. Like I said, these are all examples of me still trying to learn how to play with this team, so don't expect perfect play. These are all, like I said, my games from the Nugget Bridge live tournament I played from about a month ago, and I'm just testing Meta Metagross, and I was trying to think that Meta Metagross could be the future, but overall in the end, Kangaskhan packing the Sucker Punch is just way too strong. So leading off Sableye, Metagross, I'm avoiding the Intimidate with it. Metagross's Clear Body, making sure its stats aren't lowered, and we're going to pop a Protect, and we're going to see him not Mega Evolve, actually use the Kangaskhan Scrappy and go for a very big Fake Out, as well as a U-turn onto my Sableye. So he makes a great turn 1 play, chunking my Sableye all the way down to 48 HP, and that pretty much just seals things up for Sableye. At this point, there's not really that much I can do. We're going to see Gengar coming off the U-turn, and then we're going to see Kangaskhan switch out for Talonflame. So I get played like a literal book. I mean, he avoided everything I could do first turn, and now he's probably going to potentially avoid my Will-O-Wisp. So I'm not doing too hot here. We're going to see Sableye go for a cover, like I said. Not really going to go for Will-O-Wisp in this situation. He did have the Talonflame switch in, so at least I get a free recover here. But we are going to see Gengar go for a very big, super effective Shadow Ball on my Metagross, but I will be able to get a Zen Headbutt targeting what was that Kangaskhan slot, going for a critical hit, knocking out that Talonflame. So while I do have a Pokemon advantage, things aren't really in my favor at the moment. Both my Pokemon are quite low, and Kangaskhan is a Pokemon that has a very big power play. I'm going to go for a Protect with my Metagross, not really wanting to eat anything, and also knowing that Kangaskhan packs Fake Out Pressure and Sucker Punch Pressure. He's going to read me like a book again and go for the exact same play from turn 1. I mean, I can't believe I fell for that again. I just really thought he would go for Metagross this time. I guess I'm just playing way too predictably. So we're finally going to see him Mega Evolve, gaining that Parental Bond, no more Scrappy to hit my Sableye, and I go for a second Protect, it's not going to work. I go for a Will-O-Wisp, actually targeting the Cane. I'm going to get that off, which is quite nice, I should say. We're going to see Gengar go for a Shadow Ball, and he's targeting my Metagross because he knows that he's faster than me. This is a more bulky Metagross spread, and Gengar being faster than me pretty much means that I'm down to Shadow Balls. And apparently he thought I would switch out or something. He goes for a return on the now Sableye slot. So Mamoswine comes in to potentially try and clean this up. Not really the best Pokemon, but it's the best thing I can really do in this situation. We're then going to pop a Recover and force him to really take out the Sableye. Looking at what he has left, Sableye is great if I can wear down these burns and hit them and try and grind this game out. But against Kang, I mean, he just really realizes that once he gets Sableye all alone, he's probably going to win. So he's going for power-up punches, super effective on my Mamoswine here. And like I said, there's not all that much I can really do. I go for an Icicle Crash, and Icicle Crash usually always misses for me, but we are going to hit with these Icicle Crashes, targeting down that Gengar slot. So getting Gengar nice and low here. But like I said, there's not really that much I can do. We're going to see Kang go for the Sucker Punch, and I remember I did actually go for the Ice Shard on the Gengar this turn. So that really sucks seeing that happen, but, I mean, what are you really going to do? We're going to see Mamoswine go down, and I went to quash the Kangaskhan. I was actually trying to quash the Kangaskhan so his Sucker Punch would go before my Ice Shard. Like I said, I was still learning the team at this time, so I didn't know exactly how everything worked. Thinking about it in your head, you still kind of think it might work, but sadly, it doesn't. So we're going to see Terrakion come in here. It's going to force Gengar out, going into Landorus to get an Intimidate. So that is pretty good for my opponent. Remember, Landorus is a pretty big wall to Pokemon like Terrakion. So after this Intimidate, we're then going to see my Terrakion go for the Protect first turn. I just think overall, I played extremely defensive in this game when I probably should have just tried to sweep him. Because he's not really protecting either. All he's really doing to mitigate damage is switching. So looking back on this, I probably could have just been a lot more aggressive. I could have just KO'd his King that turn in the close combat, and then from there just burned everything in and fine. But at least we hit all our Will-O-Wisps. We have burned Landorus and Kangaskhan, so now it becomes a bit of a waiting game, putting those guys on a timer. We're then going to see Earthquake come out. Remember, he's actually Earthquaking his own Kangaskhan, which is quite funny. And his Kangaskhan is actually faster than my Terrakion, and this is what is probably going to cost me the game. He's probably most likely running a full Jolly Speed Kangaskhan, which does outspeed an Adamant Terrakion. Sadly, this is just the Terrakion set I'm using for this tournament. It's actually an older Terrakion set that I made to pair with a Charizard X. So while it does have full speed, it's not full speed and Jolly. It's just full speed Adamant, bringing his speed to about 315 at what would be level 100, whereas Kang's would be like 120 something, or not 120 something, 320 something. You get it. So 315 versus 320 something. Anyways, I'm stalling. I'm delaying the inevitable here. I have a Sableye, but there's no real way I can beat Landorus and Kangaskhan. All I really have to hope for is that the Landorus is locked into Earthquake. That's my only real shot. And if I burn the Gengar, I can try and wait this out. So if Landorus was by chance scarfed and he was stuck into Earthquake, which it looks like he pretty much is, I definitely have a shot to win. So let's just see. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm kidding you guys. I totally lose here. So Sableye is going to go down, and yeah, I mean, I feel like I could have just been a lot more aggressive. Sending things out and just protecting is never going to win any games, and this game is a great example of that. So, like I said, this is a tournament that I'm uploading over the course of a week, and this is round 2. You're not really always going to win them all, and like I said, this game is a great example. I was still learning the team at this point in time, and at this point, I'm just making excuses. So stay tuned for tomorrow. I hope I win that one. See you guys. I had fun.